Amanda Knox, hot, me, lonely.
Yeah, I think I'd pass, and frankly I don't think she's anywhere near as hot as people say. I think people just like the bad girl factor. Besides, what if she did do it or was at least in on part of it? To risk the chance that she'll go all Lizzie Borden on you in your sleep, then all of a sudden lonely don't seem so bad, does it?
One of my biggest fears in life, and certainly in a relationship, is that I'll wake up dead because the woman laying next to me flipped out and killed me. For this reason, I wouldn't touch Casey Anthony with yours. However, Amanda Knox has that look to her that makes me think it'd be worth the risk. I don't mean to be crass here, but if Miss Knox and I were in the sack together, I wouldn't stop until one of us had broken genitalia. I really try not to think this way, but sometimes I fail. Usually it's with women in the news. Amanda Knox, Bristol Palin, they are all she-devils, all of them.
Elijah, thou needest a woman. Seriously, broken genitalia.
Spare the rod and spoil the child. That child needs to learn not to get herself into those kind of situations, so I'd be doing her a service by giving her the rod until she learned a lesson or I gave up the ghost from heart failure or heat stroke.
The key to sleeping with any of these dangerous women, like Amanda Knox or Casey Anthony, is to not actually sleep. Just tell them, I've got to get going, I have to get up early in the morning for an important meeting at work. I'd call you.
See, I've never been able to do that, usually because I have convictions about it. Not simply religious ones, but a personal belief that it is generally wrong or foolish to bust a nut in a woman you have no real relationship with and then get up and leave. Whenever my convictions have fallen aside, I've not been able to do it because I simply never developed those social skills. Besides, I can't really F them and forget them because someone has to let the ants in after I break her pelvis.
Ah, the exuberance of youth. I remember those days, young, dumb, and full of, stuff. All I have these days are my dreams where I aspire to become Walter Mitty. Life and youth got away from me somewhere along the way. I feel so old these days.
Amanda Knox gets my vote before Casey Anthony, but it was a tough decision.
With Casey, at least you can keep her from killing anyone as long as you do not have any kids, or give them up for adoption. With Amanda Knox you could never sleep, or you would have to secure her before you do. One of my biggest fears is coming home one day to find my wife getting relationship advice and coaching from Lorena Bobbitt. And ladies, remember to use the right utensil for the job. No need to use a butcher knife when a paring knife will be more than adequate.
A Bobbitt job on me would require a chainsaw, not a paring knife. I was told it required a two-handed lumberjack saw for my circumcision.
Well, my parents were poor and always trying to save a buck or two and found a half-off deal for my circumcision. I just wish they had read the ad more carefully.
Half off? I thought it was just a smidge off.
If that wasn't bad enough, when my parents took me back to complain, the doctor didn't speak English very well and took half off again. I'm glad Mom and Dad whizzed up and stopped going back before I became their little girl.
Don, when I was taught math, a half plus a half equals one whole. I am afraid you are a little girl.
You must have went to one of those tiny private basement schools. My word problem was half off the whole and half off the half that was left. One whole minus a half of the half that is left equals a fourth.
If I lost 3/4 of my penis, I would only have about 12 inches left. I can imagine what life would be like with something so small.
Would you like to see it?
No thanks.